Um, let's just go through example number one. We'll go through example. This is lesson 47. Congruence in overlapping triangles. Example number one. Here, let's look at what we're dealing with. We're given a diagram of overlapping triangles, and there's two statements here. Here it's saying that segment TQ is congruent to segment BR. We'll go into that a little bit later. And here it says prove that triangle PQT is congruent to triangle PRB. So I want to cover this part a little bit. Whenever students see this phrase prove, it's not. A lot of students think it's a true fact, which is true statement. Is this? Has it been proven? Not proven, right? So you can't use this as a fact. You have to prove that triangles PQT is congruent to triangle PRB. And how we're going to be proving that they are congruent? We're going to be using the congruent triangles theorems, right? And the congruent triangles theorems are the side side side, side angle side, angle side, angle side angle, and the hypotenuse leg. Okay. So next one here is, now we're going to, since we're dealing with overlapping triangles, this is how you kind of deal with that, this kind of problem. Here, you're trying to prove triangles PQT is equivalent to triangle PRB. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw PQT separately. You see here, it has each letter in the triangle is a point in the triangle that I'm going to be drawing. So I'm going to go from P to QT. P, QT. B, then I'm going to draw a triangle P, QT. I'm going to draw here. This is from B, oh sorry, this is from T, I'm sorry. This is T to P, and I'm going to draw the from P to Q. Okay. Now we're going to draw the second triangle, which is triangles PRB. And I'm going to use the letters as a guide, PRB. Okay. I'm going to draw this here first from B to P. And I'm going to draw the R. So next, once we have separated the two triangles, we're going to kind of break down the questions, right? We're going to break down what's given to us. First, we're going to look at what's given in the statement, right? Number one. Look at what's given in the statement, right? It's saying that segment TQ is congruent to segment BR. So I'm going to mark that, right? Segment TQ, which is here, is congruent to segment BR. Okay. Then here, since we're already done with the givens or something else that's given, here, right? This is not proven yet. We're going to prove it later. So the next one here is we have to write down what's given by the statement here. What's given through the statement. And this is for number one. Number two, I'm going to be using what is given in the diagram. What conclusion can we make that's given in the diagram, right? So here, all I see is that I see arc marks here. So I can say that, I can make a conclusion that angle T is congruent to angle R, right? So in my separate drawing, I'm gonna draw the arc marks, right? Angle T will be congruent to angle R. And as we are making these statements, since I already did two, I'm going to start making statements just so we can keep track of what we are concluding, right? So first thing was TQ, segment TQ is congruent to segments BR. How do you make a conclusion? Because it is given. Next one is what's given in the diagram. We said that angle T is congruent to angle R. How do we know that? It is either the arc marks or it is given by the diagram. Okay. The next one is going to be, we have to make another conclusion. Since the theorem here, we need at least, it's either we have a right triangle that only has a hypotenuse and a leg congruent, or we have a side, three pairs of congruent sides. Let me verify that. You have three pairs, one pair, second pair, third pair. Here you have two pairs of sides, but you have an angle between those two sides. And here you have two pairs of congruent angles and one pair of congruent sides. Here you have two pairs of congruent angles and a congruent side in between them. Or you need to have an hypotenuse and a leg that is congruent to prove that two angles are congruent. Okay. So what else can we conclude? We already kind of used the given by the statement. We already used the given in the diagram. Now we're going to create our own conclusion based on the diagram here. Okay. So here we'll just look at it. I know it's kind of new, so you might be confused. So here we can't prove that the segment of PV is congruent to PQ, right? There's no indication of the congruence. You can prove that PR and PT is both congruent, but there's no proof, right? And we cannot prove angle Q is congruent to angle B, right? Because there's no proof. But what we can do is we can prove that angle P will be congruent to angle B. Why? Because they're the same angle and they're found in both of the triangles. Right? Anytime that a angle is congruent to itself, then it is congruence. And this is due to, if you look at the diagram carefully, what do you notice? They both share angle P. So here, you can say that they're both congruent, right? If you want a better visual, right, you can cover this here. You can look at this. This triangle has angle P. Right? And if you look at this triangle, it has angle P again. So you know that it is congruent to itself using the reflexive property of congruency. Okay. And as we're writing that down, we're going to label the pairs of congruent angles. Angle 1 is my first pair. This is my first pair of congruent sides. And this is my second pair of congruent angles. So here, since we have already three information, that's all we always need to prove the two triangles are congruent. So we're gonna try to make a conclusion, right? We're trying to make our conclusion about how is triangle PQT congruent to triangle PRD. Okay, so now here we're going to go back to this statement here. Here, what do you notice? Which pattern do you see here, right? Obviously, it cannot be this side, because why? You only have one pair of congruent sides. You need about three pairs, right? It looks like to be side. It can't be side angle side because we need at least two pairs of congruent sides. Because we only have one here. It might be angle side, or angle side angle. It cannot be hypotenuse side because we don't have a right angle. So it can only be between these two. Okay. So now, answer for this is going to be the angle side. Why? Because if you look at this carefully, If you cover this and you look at the two angles here, is there a congruent side in between these two angles? No, right? So we cannot say angle side angle. Even here, there's no side in between these two congruent angles. But here, we can always prove that we have one pair angle angle side is easier to prove because it says here we have one pair of congruent angles. Yes. We have another pair of congruent angle. Yes. And we have one pair of congruent side. Yes. So if all three checks out, then I can use that as proof that the triangle PQT is congruent to triangle PRB because of using the angle, side, congruence, triangle theorem. Okay, and that is the first example. And now we're going to just do the next one here, real quick. Here, once again, we're going to always read what's given. What's given is that BD is congruent to AE, but what's more important is we're looking at the question of the example, right? The question here is asking that we're trying to prove. Again, proof is the question of the lesson or the example or question of that, the numbered question for this diagram. So here, trying to prove that triangle ABE is equal to triangle EE. Okay, and now we're going to just, again, we're dealing with overlapping triangles. So first thing we do is, this is like we're going to be trying to do it fast here, just so you have a picture of how you do the work just really quick. It's going to be triangle A, E, E, right? And it's going to draw it real quick, right? Again, you don't have to make it look really nice, right? It can be, it looks just like that. That's just a, I just don't want you to overplan it. And this is when you're drawing it, I don't want you to overthink or waste a lot of time drawing. So this is triangle BDE. Okay. Second triangle. This is triangle ADE, and this is triangle BDE. Again, we'll just go through this real quick, and we're just gonna label everything that's given. Once again, don't forget, always look what's given in the statements. It's saying that BD is congruent to segments AE. Where's BD here though? BE, BA is not E. Maybe it's here. Oh, BD right here. Okay. Here, next one here is it's congruent to AE. So we're gonna go to this segment AE. And we're going to, now we're done with our given here. We're going to put that as a side one. That's congruent. And next, we're going to look at the number two. Always look at the diagram, right? What do you see in the diagram? Is you see two right angles at angle B and angle E. That's my next pair of congruent angles because they're both equals to 90 degrees. Okay. Lastly is once again we're going to we already made the statements and we're trying to prove that we're trying to do it. And here we already look at the diagram to make what's given in the diagram. Now we're going to make a conclusion, right? Let's see what they both share. In this diagram, they look like they both share segments BE. Right? So here I'm going to put segment BE. With segment B. That'll be my second side, that is congruence. But I forgot to mention, whenever you're dealing with a right angle, don't forget to always put the hypotenuse. Even though you're not going to be using it, at least acknowledge that there is a hypotenuse. Because why is it an hypotenuse? Because there's a right angle opposite side of the right angle. Opposite side of the right angle is hypotenuse. And you can also name this as your leg. Okay, so now we're trying to prove why both triangles are congruent. Okay, here it cannot be angle side, it cannot be angle side angle, because why we remove one pair of angles? It might be side angle side, or it might be the hypotenuse like there. Cannot be side 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 because we only have two pairs of congruent sides. So I need three. So next one here is um, here it cannot be side angle side because there's no congruent angles in between the two sides. There is no congruent angles in between the two sides. So now it only could be the hypotenuse leg. The triangles are congruent. So back to the question. These two triangles are congruent because of the hypotenuse leg, congruent triangle. So, okay, class, that is the video, and